Yeah, thank you, Abby. But don't go away because I need you to be my glamorous assistant for the final bit. So here we are, and we've all survived, and you've all done amazingly well. I couldn't believe how much people have done. As I think it was you said earlier, Medea, that feels like we've been here for kind of years, and yet only a few seconds, and here we are at the end of the week. So I'm just going to try and process a few things with you and wrap things up. A few important things for us to do before we start boogieing in our homes. So let me, I'm actually doing my own tech now, so stand back and be amazed because it could all go horribly wrong, but I hope it won't. So I'm going to share my slides with you. Don't worry, there's not many of them. So this is what we're doing. And I'm hoping that by now you have an idea where you're going. And you also, because of mainly of what we've done today, but actually it's through the whole of the week, you have some idea of how you're going to start getting there. So what I want from you to begin with is, now this is going to be interesting. Wait a minute.
Press the down arrow at the top of it, Libby. See, there's a up and a down in the middle.
Oh,
up
yeah.
a little bit. There you go.
Duh. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So what I want from you, and this is where Abby comes in because I can't see the chat, but she can. I want every one of you to think of one word that sums up how you're feeling right now. After all you've done, after all you've been through, what you're facing, just one word that sums up. So
I'm going to go for a speed list of speaking here. And I'm going to start from the top. Inspired, excited, motivated, thoughtful, elevated, empowered, capable, informed, spaghetti, ready, driven, exhausted, positivity, freedom, inspired, thoughtful, wonderment, encouraged, tired, inspired, reflective, and ready. And a bunch more.
right, well, those are all fabulous words, I have to say. And they're all really positive and enthusiastic. So I can tell everybody's energy is up, even though, well, some people have said they're tired, but come on, you've got to do some boogieing later, so you can't be that tired. But most of you seem inspired and enthused, which is fabulous. That's what we really hoped you'd be by now. Okay, so you'll remember in prehistorical times, this was what we were looking at on Monday. And you should know this kind of off by heart now. It's thinking about who you are, where you're going, why you're going, where you're going. And being specific about that so that somebody who doesn't know what you're up to will actually have an idea when they hear you speaking about it. And I heard your pitches this morning, really, really impressed. And I have every confidence that you're on your way with this and you will be enthusing other people about what you're doing, which is fabulous. Just thinking about what we were talking about vis-a-vis values, and Catherine was doing that as well. I just want to remind you that your values are quite specific and they're a bit different from what you say you value. A value can be articulated in one word. So I just want you to notice the difference between your values and what you value. There will be a relationship there, but they're slightly different when you're articulating them. And likewise, in terms of executing your goals or your dreams, perhaps, which I think are interchangeable. Again, the distinction between what is actually missing and what's stopping you in terms of the obstacles that get in your way. So don't forget that what's missing is external to you. Things like experience, money, contacts, information, that's all stuff you can go out and get. It's the stuff that stops you. It's the internal stuff. It's the anxiety. It's the fear. It's the uncertainty. It's the procrastination. That's the stuff that stops you. And that's the thing you need to work on first. So don't get confused between the two. Otherwise, you may find yourself giving yourself excuses not to do things, when actually what you need to do is just sort out something that's quite practical. You might not know how to do it, but that's the first thing you need to do. You need to find out how to sort it. Okay, now related to this, I'm gonna need my, oh, I didn't want that. Why has that come up? Ah, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. So Abby, are you still there?
Yes, I am indeed still here. Hello, Libby. How's it going?
Right, what I would like you to do is to demonstrate the whole notion of trying, because I know everybody in the Zoom room is going to be trying to do stuff, and you're going to be working really hard. But I actually want to illustrate something to you about trying. It's one of those words that we use a bit like, well, I'm thinking of, or I just do X or Y. I'm just an artist. I'm just a performer. We've gone through this earlier in the week, but it's about using different words. It's the kind of language you talk to yourself in, and it needs to be powerful to help you along. So whenever you hear yourself saying, I'm going to try and, or I'm trying to, that is pretty meaningless. Make sure you either do or choose not to. There's a bit of power in that. So it's a bit like when you find yourself doing something or trying to do something and you say, well, yeah, I would do that, but, or I really want to do this, but, and what will come next is a whole load of excuses. Why not? Try replacing the but with an and. So I really want to have an exhibition next year, but I'm really not sure where to start. If you say and, I really don't know where to start, you kind of open up a possibility for yourself. Whereas but in the middle of a sentence when you're trying to get stuff done generally closes possibility down. So again, the language you use for yourself is really, really important. So try and get in the habit of saying and see what opens up instead of closes down. We have lots of tricks like that we play with ourselves and we don't know we're doing it, to stop ourselves from doing stuff that might frighten us. Okay, so let's hope the right slide comes up now. No, I'm going, but gosh, this is terrible. You think I would have done this by now. Okay, so Catherine talked a lot about action planning and getting stuff done. And I just want to reiterate the whole thing about breaking big tasks down. So you've all got those massive dreams and goals. You all want to be doing stuff. It's only going to happen if you make those steps small enough for you to take. So as Catherine said as well, things have to be big to motivate you and inspire you. But then actually when it comes to doing something, the steps you take have to be small enough so that you will actually take them. if you find yourself overwhelmed or procrastinating, it means the step you've chosen to take is probably still too big. So you have to break it down further, which is why she said, make the thing you're going to do today as tiny as possible. So for example, what I'm showing you here is a very straightforward template of the possibility of achieving a particular goal. You would fill in the gaps over 6 months. So by March 2021, you're gonna have X happening, a reality. What you can do with a template like this is to kind of work your way backwards in time, like Catherine was saying. So if my goal is happening in 6 months' time, I'd have all the different aspects of that you can see running down the left-hand side sorted. Because with any goal, not only have you got steps to take, but you will have lots of different kind of sub-goals in different areas to get things done. And they might look a bit like what you've got on the screen at the left there. So if that's all sorted within 6 months, within 3 months, what do you have to have done within all those different areas to make your goal within 6 months more likely? And on that process, we can bring it back and back till we get to today. And it's like, what's the very first baby step you can take when shift program is over to make your goal in 6 months more likely to happen? There's no guarantee it will, but this is all about your intention and how you act out of your intention. So this is quite a complex thing. Well, it's simple, but it's complex. And you'll find a template that you can use. I believe the lovely Aidan is putting things in the resources as I speak. Thank you very much. And don't forget that even though the shift program completes today, you have a lot of people around who can support you to take your own personal journeys forward. So don't feel abandoned. Don't feel that you are on your own with this. And there will be space when we get to you giving us some feedback for you to actually request things or to let us know that you want further support. If we don't know you want it and we don't know what it is, we can't provide it for you. So don't worry about this, but it's a tool to help you break things down, hopefully, in a slightly more detailed way than Catherine mentioned. But I think you'd need to do what Catherine suggested before you start making the bigger picture. And essentially a template like this, once you've completed all the boxes, you then it's your kind of to-do list. You work your way through it. You have it in black and white rather than having all these things swimming around in your head and overwhelming you. So you can almost tick things off because you've planned what you're going to do and the time frame in which you're going to do things. Now, for some of you, you might be thinking, well, okay, I want to do this and I want to start, but I think I won't start until I've got this in place or until I'm at this point with my living situation or until I've done X, Y, and Z. I would say do not wait until everything is in place before you start, because things will never be perfect. They will never be just so for you to begin. It's a bit like when, you know, new parents, they suddenly find they're going to have a baby and it's like, oh my God, I'm not ready for this. I wasn't going to have children until blah, blah, blah. When actually there's no best time. Life happens. So I would take the bull by the horns Don't worry about being ready. And you know what? Often it's not until you actually commit to taking the first step that things occur and the universe starts moving in your favor, and other things start to conspire in line with what it is you want to do. And it's very strange how that happens, but it does. And things sometimes just don't start happening till you make that first step. So it's really important, without knowing where you're going and what the future is, that you take a step. It's a bit like, you'll all be familiar with Indiana Jones movies. And I think it's the one with Sean Connery as his dad. And Indiana is looking for the Holy Grail or something to make his dad well again. And the way he gets the Holy Grail is by following lots of clues that lead him through all kinds of terrible tasks and stuff going on that he has to get through. And one of these is he comes to what looks like an abyss, and there's no way to cross from where he is to the other side. There's just no way to do it. But the instruction is take a leap of faith. And it looks like, well, this is going to be a disaster. I'm going to die if I do this. But however, he takes a step into the void, and you'll know what happens. A bridge appears that we couldn't see before. And that's a really great kind of symbolic demonstration of how important it is to just take that step, and other things will appear. There's a brilliant quote that is also going to be going up in the resources by William Hutchinson Murray. And within that quote, it says, the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. And it's very true. It's very true. So don't wait to start. Just start and things will start moving for you. Okay. Oh, we've done that. Why do I keep doing this? Okay, so here's to taking that first step, whatever it is, no matter how small it is. It's really, really important that you take that first step, and you will find all kinds of things will start happening.